Hello, perceptive reader. Higher education in any form should never be used to exploit people. Let me emphasize a thought that came to my mind to help you to appreciate discernment. People will talk about discernment, and yet I've actually seen experiences and seen, should I say, uh, where you can have discernment. However, even with discernment, you can be placed in situations where it doesn't matter whether you know what's going on or not, because you still have no other choice in the matter but to deal with the situation, but to put up with the situation. Discernment may help you to um, at least not, assail the name of God, as the scriptures have put it by some expressions. Yet at the same time, it doesn't mean you can just pack up and leave a job or occupation where you are the only one who views God in the way that you do. You know, there are persons who make it seem like it's just that simple, and it's really not. Not in general. Uh, you just got a lot of persons, and we learned that from slavery, where people are locked in to certain circumstances in life. And to actually just try to buck the system in that way, I'm no, I'm not sorry, but that just doesn't seem reasonable. What I want to emphasize about higher education, though, and when I talk about it is not meant to exploit anybody, or it shouldn't be used to exploit anybody. There are some people who will look at you as if you don't know something, then it's like shame on you. But the reality is, it's not shame on you. The loving thing to do, even if a person is in circumstances where they just don't really know what questions to ask, or again, they've been in situations where they're not privy to the information, not without having to pay an extended amount of money or even time. So it's like it's still not just freely given to the person. Now, when persons experience that, then they could be looked at as sometimes as doing something wrong, when really, from their upbringing and even spiritual upbringing, they're not doing anything wrong at all. It is just that because of certain individuals who are in the know of the mechanics of it all, uh, the cool kids, if I can say, of it all, uh, they just got their own type of way of functioning in society. And so I could use some Bible examples that talks about what is up is down and down is up. And that's normally talking about the way that people do confuse information. But what I really want to still say, that people have their own way, um, from what they even learn from their education, on how they conduct themselves um, spiritually and even in business. And I want to emphasize that just because someone may conduct themselves with their conscience in both of those matters that I just mentioned, it doesn't mean that the person who is just not in the know or on the same sheet of music in the area, that it means that they are wrong in what they're doing. And it certainly doesn't mean that just because they are not aware of all the nuances, what's the latest, whether it's trends, fads, or otherwise, that they shouldn't be penalized either in any way. Uh, I'm telling you the way it should work in love. And so when you don't see someone being given uh, not only the benefit of the doubt, not even a consideration of, hey, do you know about this or that directly? You see, then maybe you won't be hopping on the bandwagon and, making situations worse for a person. I want to emphasize that whatever knowledge we have, we we should use it to help people and not to harm them. And if a person ever get scammed in this way or that way, I wouldn't even look at the person as being dumb who got scammed. Because if you look at all the methods, uh, the deviousness of it all, it is designed to truly trick a person. And so you can even be tricked once, you can be tricked twice, you can be tricked many times. Why? Because these methods are actually designed to go according to what is right in your conscious and mind anyway. And so to actually change your thinking in another way, just to adjust to what some persons may be doing to you, that especially they're not doing it in front of your face, you don't know who it is, then to start withholding your emotions, to start withholding your gifts, you see, your love, your caringness towards others, because you can be scammed just by showing love to somebody, and people go along with it, making it seem like, oh, well, you know what? This was done behind the scenes just because you spoke to a person. Oh, this was done behind the scenes because you shared a link of a person. And they try to make it seem like that is normal. They try to make it seem like you don't have discernment because you did that, when really, in reality, until you ran into some of these persons who have gamed the system or structured it in such a way where it is still geared towards whatever you are doing, to find some way to try to scam you because you did it, even though it is something that shouldn't even have been placed in that type of category of you giving permission for the person to rob you now. You giving permission to go behind the scenes and say this person signed their life away to you. Huh? So I just wanted to tell you that, and especially when it comes to the internet, the way that I've been taught and the way that I still stick firmly to, you should make it so that you only believe and take your information solely from just feeds, because anybody can get into your feeds as well. You hear persons who have checked the back of their administration security for even a YouTube channel, and have found persons in there that, yeah, they were different YouTubers or whatever, but these were YouTubers that you was almost like, you don't really follow, you don't have no connection with them at all, you don't even share their links, but here they was having admin permissions over your YouTube channel. So that's what I'm just trying to emphasize, that if you hear somebody who was not knowledgeable in these areas or that area, and then they, some people probably say, well, they need to be discerning. I'm here to tell you, in this case, maybe sometimes they should develop more discernment, and then in other times it's like, no, if they stop the way that they've been functioning in anyway, that could have still been all part of a ploy and a big plan to get you to be more withholding of your love, withholding of your generosity, withholding of something good to give to people. So in other words, there really is like, in trying not to be scammed, you're still really being conditioned out of your love and generosity. Just so you can say, well, I got discernment now, when really in reality, no. The person shouldn't have been manipulating and attacking you in this or that way in the first place. So I'm saying it's not your fault. It is not your fault for trying to be a good person and striving to be a good person, striving to be a good professional. And people who accept it as those different methods I told you, that they say, this is how you're giving your permission this way or that way. I'm here to tell you today, I strongly disagree with them. And we want to stop blaming the person who was scammed or victimized and try to make it seem like that they are weak and that they are dumb, when no, the point is you just giving more leeway and trickery for people to be dishonest to them, and then still want to blame them for the situation they're in. You know what? Anybody who go along that line of thinking of what I just shared with you in this podcast, this is when you start realizing it's like, oh no, you got the education, but still, you don't have a certain ability yet or discernment on how to apply all that higher education, unless maybe that's the way you wanted to apply it in the first place. You take good care of yourself, perceptive reader. Have a wonderful day.